nice looking sunrise underway to kick off the day. We are going to be plenty hot and humid as we go through the rest of the week. I'll have those details coming up.
Georgia's COVID-19 case totals reach a troubling milestone. Weather numbers stand and what vaccination rates look like in the state.
And COVID-19 now impacting trials in Bibb County, how long they've been suspended and when the pause could get a second look.
One Springdale Elementary School teacher is being recognized for being a leader. I'm going to introduce you to her in just a few minutes.
Well, good Wednesday morning. Check that out, Courtney. I don't know what the weather term is for that, but let me tell you, the Wanye term is looking good out there. The time is now 6:31 on this August the 18th. I'm Wanye Reese.
And I'm Caitlin Heck. I like the Wanye term, but it is a great start out there, Courtney. How pretty is that?
Yeah, it really is. It's interesting. So this is actually fog, believe it or not. Fog is just a low-lying cloud. Normally when it bothers you is when it's at the ground and it causes problems with your visibility, but if I'm not mistaken, the Ocmulgee River is where this is pointing towards, so that should be creating all of this fog that's off in the distance. Really cool looking start. It looks a little Halloweenish if you ask me, a little bit eerie. 71 right now in the city of Macon at dew point, very high. Although tropical storm, now tropical depression Fred, is out of the way, it still is feeling very tropical out there for the start of your Wednesday. 72 in Warner Robins, 70 in Forsyth, 73 in Unadilla, 72 in Dublin, and we're at 77 in Vidalia. Very warm morning and definitely muggy. Take a look at these dew points. That is soupy. As you walk out the door, you will notice how muggy it is out there, and that will lead to a hot and humid day with temperatures near 90. Believe it or not, this is one of the cooler days on the 7-day. I'll take you through all of it and, of course, talk about how much rain is on the way this week. That's in a few minutes.
Well, thank you, Courtney. Over 1 million cases. That's the COVID-19's impact here in Georgia. Nearly a year and a half after the state saw its first COVID-19 case, Georgia's now passed 1 million cases.
And you can see the numbers on your screen right now. According to the State Department of Public Health, Georgia's numbers sit at 1,872,000. That's how many cases the state has seen since around the start of March 2020. To put that into perspective, that's over 9% of our population.
As cases climb again in Georgia, Governor Brian Kemp continues to encourage people to get vaccinated. As of yesterday's data, over 4.3 million Georgians are fully vaccinated. That's around 42% of the state. 49% have gotten at least one dose. If you're wanting to get a vaccine, you have a shot today. The Macon-Bibb County Health Department is offering COVID-19 vaccines every Wednesday between 8:30 a.m. and noon. That's according to Macon-Bibb County Communications. There's no appointment necessary. They offer Moderna and Johnson & Johnson vaccines, so it's open to anyone 18 and older. You can find the health department on Forsyth Street.
Well, rising COVID-19 cases means some court cases may have to wait to see their trial date. Jury trials in Bibb County are now on hold for the rest of the month. According to District Attorney Anita Howard's office, Chief Justice Howard Sims suspended the trials because of the increase in COVID-19 cases in Bibb. They'll reevaluate in September. DA Howard says in the meantime, her office will work with the Public Defender's Office and defense attorneys to find resolutions for nonviolent offenders. Peach County trials will continue for now. And starting today, Telfair County schools go to online and packet learning. The district announced that decision earlier this week, citing an increase in COVID-19 cases in the school system and the county. The switch to online lasts through next Friday, August 27th. The district says they plan to continue in person on Monday, August 30th. And just a reminder for Crisp County students, you will stay virtual through this week. The school district made that announcement Friday of temporary online learning for all students. They say the decision came because of an increase in COVID-19 cases in the county. Students are set to return to campus on Monday. And in news from around the Peach State, the National Weather Service will conduct storm surveys today after Fred moved through Georgia.
That's according to our station in Atlanta. That's one of 3 headlines we're following across the state this morning. 11 Alive reports that at least a dozen homes have some sort of damage after a possible tornado touchdown in Sumter County early yesterday. The CBS station in Columbus says that's according to a National Weather Service report. There was likely a tornado shortly before 1:30 yesterday morning around Americus. This is just some of the damage in the city that you could see right there on your screen. You can see what these storms are capable of doing. 11 Alive says, according to the National Weather Service, at least 2 other possible tornadoes touched down in Georgia. A potential one hit a rural area of Meriwether County between Atlanta and Columbus, and one hit possibly right here in our area in Jeffersonville. Georgia's most populated county could now be set to get an election review from the state board. Today, Georgia's election board plans to take a step toward a possible eventual takeover of elections in Fulton County. That's according to the Associated Press. Last month, Republican lawmakers asked the state board to appoint a panel to investigate the county's handling of elections. According to the AP, the Republican-controlled state board could replace the county's Board of Registration and Election with an administrator it chooses.
One government department will soon get a new headquarters. Governor Brian Kemp's office says tomorrow the State Department of Public Safety will break ground on their new space. That starts at 10 a.m. at DPS's current space in Atlanta. The governor and other state leaders will speak at that event. And some Macon-Bibb employees will get a boost to their paycheck. County commissioners agreed to allocate $40 million over the next 10 years toward annual incentives for employees who work in public safety. So for employees like deputies and firefighters, they'll get an extra $2,500 tacked onto their salary if they've been with the department for 10 to 14 years. If they've worked for 15 to 19 years with the county, it'll be $4,000. And if they've worked for county public safety for more than 20 years, they'll get $5,500 more a year. County leaders also agreed to raise the minimum wage for county employees to $15 an hour by January of 2023. Well, Houston County will soon be without a veteran Central Georgia prosecutor.
The county's district attorney George Hartwig submitted a letter of retirement to Governor Brian Kemp last week. And the governor accepted his retirement yesterday, effective September the 1st. That's according to Pete Scandalicus of the Georgia Prosecuting Attorneys Council. Hartwig has been DA since 2010 and just won last year. He won a new term. He beat his former chief assistant Erica Williams with 52% of the vote.
In a statement, Hartwig says it's been his honor and privilege to serve the state of Georgia as a prosecutor for the last 20 years. He says he strived to serve the citizens of the state and worked hard to keep Houston County safe. His letter says Chief Assistant William Kendall will take over as interim DA. And looking at a couple other headlines out of Houston County, more candidates qualified for the mayor's race in Warner Robins this November. Stephen Boyer and LaRonda Patrick both made it into the race this week, challenging current Mayor Randy Toms. Toms hopes to win a third term. Qualifying runs through Friday. The mayor's seat and 3 city council seats are up for election.
Warner Robins City Council appointed a new Community and Economic Development Director, Kate Hogan, who will be responsible for bringing in new development for the city. She's currently Economic Development Director for the city of Centerville. Mayor Randy Toms says last year's budget included $500,000 for neighborhood projects, and most of that money is included in this year's budget to be used for development. Hogan will step into her new role in Warner Robins on September the 1st. Well, the time is now 6:38 a.m. and yesterday I was waking up from my nap around about 4 p.m. and I was just so amazed. I looked out the window, Caitlin, and it was like, oh,
so beautiful.
The sun was out and I was like, what Fred? What storm?
Yeah,
Fred who?
Yeah, Fred who? and on the backside of tropical systems, you get that drying, sinking air. So we did see a little bit of the clearing of skies. Out. Yeah, it was. It ended up not being a half bad afternoon after a very crazy morning. And of course, we did pick up a good bit of rain. And now look at these totals and kind of take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, because these are just from what rain gauges picked up. Some of your rain gauges in your backyard might have picked up a little bit more. I know I saw quite a few impressive images out of Fred that left a lot of rain across parts of central Georgia. But the official rain gauges in these cities, this is what they picked up. So just under an inch in Dublin. Hawkinsville picked up just over an inch and a half, same in Sandersville and in Macon, and Warner Robins picked up about an inch and a quarter of rain. And I do know if we had any kind of data out of Upson County, I checked. I didn't see any officially, but I know the closer you were to Fred, you picked up a lot of rain yesterday. Thankfully, Fred now gone, a tropical depression moving off to the northeast. But we aren't getting rid of that tropical moisture, everyone. Front to our north, and we are continuing to pump in a lot of that warm and moist air behind the system. And so that is going to leave us hot and humid and quite unsettled as we head through the next several days. Right now, enjoy this beautiful view. Take a look on top of the fairgrounds in Perry, a beautiful glowing sunrise, well deserved after the view we had to see yesterday morning. 71 right now in the city of Perry, but look at that dew point at 72. There's that muggy factor that is going to stay with us all week long. Now, with all that moisture in play, we are going to have the opportunity for pop-up showers and storms as all that moisture starts to lift with the heat of the day, offering us a chance for, of course, rain and storms primarily past lunchtime. So all of you heading out to work or school this morning, don't have to worry about any rain. Just get ready for the humidity. For the afternoon and for the ride home, you might run into a stray pop-up shower. Could have a few heavier downpours as we go through the day today. Through the overnight, we should be quiet, and then we'll do it all over again tomorrow. It'll be primarily dry through lunchtime, and then we'll start to pick up our coverage of rain and storms for the afternoon. We will be slightly more unsettled for Thursday and Friday. Of course, Friday, the first Friday of football, Friday night, and we'll be able to fine-tune that forecast even better over the next few days, and of course, time everything out for kickoff and all of that. Saturday, we'll pick up our coverage of rain a little more, and we do look to start a slightly drier trend by the end of the weekend and start of the work week. Temperature-wise, we are heating up, low 90s today. It will still feel more like the upper 90s, low to mid 70s through the overnight, and then tomorrow we'll do it all over again with another round of low 90s, maybe a few upper 80s if you see rain a little bit earlier, but it will still feel warmer than that with that humidity. Tropics also still heating up. Of course, Fred now out of our way, but we still have Grace and Henri. Grace moving through the Caribbean, Henri out in the Atlantic, and the good news is neither of those are going to bother us. All we had to do is deal with Fred. Do not have another trailing behind quickly. Henri is going to do a little bit of a loop in the Atlantic, becoming a Category 1 hurricane by Friday and moving off to the northeast over the weekend. Now, when it comes to Grace, this storm will continue on her westerly track, making landfall somewhere near Mexico and continuing on towards the west, not bothering us here in central Georgia nor anywhere in the lower 48 states. So all good things. While the tropics are hot, thankfully not going to bother us. Summer-like here at home with afternoon storms possible every day. With our highest coverage of rain Thursday through Saturday. We're back in the mid-90s by Monday.